Hello, everyone. We are here. It's happening. Uh, I'm super excited to be here today. Shout out to everybody that has joined us. My name is Keyzia Nikole. I am the host of Don't Be Angry, Be Active podcast. Now, I started this podcast actually, it used to be Action Speak Louder. And my phrase was Don't Be Angry, Be Active because I used to be upset that I felt like that not the right, people were getting noticed in the community when they were doing good work. The other thing is, I saw a lot of people that were just talking like they weren't doing anything. They were just mad and just ranting about stuff that they didn't like in the community. And I mean, I know everybody sees that. We see that on social media these days where like everybody is just like, you know, what do they call it? Keyboard gangsters. And so don't be angry, be active is mainly about, not just focusing on being upset and angry about things that you don't like in your community, things that you don't like in your life, things that you don't like, around you. And so our motto here is don't be angry, be active, get it done, be a certified doer, as Delegate Jackie Glass says. And that's what we are here to do today. Today, we are here to talk about being active, about accomplishing your goals as business owners. A little bit about my background. By trade, I am a mortgage underwriter. I started out as a financial counselor. I used to be a loan officer, and it was really, really important for me to be active in my community because I used to get upset that, our financial opportunities for people of color, Black people, were not open because we didn't know the rules. And so I started stopped being angry. I stopped getting mad and I started being active. I started going into my community, teaching and empowering people with information. So that's what we're going to be here doing tonight. I have special guests. I'm going to bring them into the studio. Let's see. We're going to introduce Mr. Ronnie Good. Everybody, please welcome Ronnie Good. Ronnie, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you
Okay,
really,
we're
really
good.
well.
We're
Awesome,
good.
awesome. And I'm going to introduce our next guest, um, Miss Karisma Williams. We're gonna bring her into the studio. Hello, sis. Nope, we cannot hear you. You have to unmute. Nope, still can't hear you. If yep. All right, we're gonna pull her right out of the studio. And Ronnie, I'm gonna take it to you. If you can just share a little bit about yourself and how you got started. Okay.
Got you. So for me, I'll introduce myself real quick. My name is Ronnie Good. I'm a certified public accountant, CPA, licensed in the state of Virginia, but I serve clients all across the United States virtually. So that regardless of what time zone, I help out clients all around. What I focus on in my firm called Rhythm Accounting, we focus on tax planning, tax strategy, financial strategy, business strategy, and we also do some of the compliance things like tax preparation, accounting, bookkeeping, and things of that nature. So that's kind of what I do and who I am and why I'm here today. You want to test out your mic real quick? I think Keyzia dropped off for a second. There she go. I didn't know if you wanted me to continue to ramble a little bit, so I said my piece and I was done.
Yeah. um, Charisma, are you able to can can you talk to see if we can hear you? No. All right. So there's a tester at the bottom. So we're going to having a little technical difficulty. Sorry guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. While Karisma test out her microphone and get that all squared away. Ronnie, so I am super excited about um this subject. I have so many like business owners coming to me talking about like, well, I gotta wait 2 years before I can buy a house, or I'm a business owner and my credit is not that great. And I just, I don't really know what to do. So can you share with the audience as far as your experience in um, small business owners that have like goals of being having the opportunity to use their financial statements for lending purposes?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of experience with this, to be honest. I have a lot of clients that are in this boat. They are full-time entrepreneurs, full-time business owners, and then they come to me. They're like, "Hey, I make money. I'm in a position where I may have just gotten married. I have some guys that just got married, some trucking clients that I have. I'm looking to buy a home, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a home because I'm self-employed or I'm a business owner." I'm like, okay, you should be able to still get a home. It's just some things that you have to do. There's some steps that you have to take. So where I like to start, I like to first ask them where they currently are in the home buying process. How long is their horizon, right? So the 2 year thing is a good idea, to be completely honest. I'm hoping that they are like a couple years out before they actually start to, plan to buy, because I like to start early,
Right.
right? Because
So are you saying that that perfect world scenario to start 2 years in advance?
perfect world scenario, 2 to 3 years in advance. And the reason why I say this is because when you become a business owner, everybody knows this, the tax code benefits business owners and investors, right? When you become a business owner, you can write off all of this type of stuff. You're having a good old time. You're writing off everything. Everything is a business expense if you can kind of justify it, right? So in doing that, that's going to lower your income. And you need proof of income if you want somebody to lend you money, because you have to show that you have the ability to be able to pay them back, right? So a lot of times when I talk to clients, they've been doing all of this stuff, taking all of these deductions and stuff like that, and it's fine for a while. But then if this is your only source of income, how can you prove that you have income to be able to pay these folks if they're going to lend you some money? So
Right.
that's why I say 2 years out, so we can start planning not to take all of these deductions in the next year, not to take all of those deductions in the year after that. So we can start showing proof of income, and start preparing them to be able to, submit that application and have the things that they need to have to support it. So that's why I like to start in advance. That's the first place I like to start. Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess my question is, what have you seen that's been successful when it comes to? Can you share like maybe a story or two um, of thing of business owners that you've worked with that have set the goal? What have you noticed about how they manage their finances?
The I guess the gold standard for the business owners that I've seen that have done this successfully and
Mm-hmm.
have gotten the funding that they need, or the mortgage that they need for the home, let me say it like that,
Mm-hmm.
is they've had a good set of books and records. It's really that simple. It's not that simple, but it's really that simple. They
Mm-hmm.
have a good, documentation is everything when you're a business owner, right? Because some people are self-employed, they're not getting a W-2 if they don't have a corporation. That's
Right.
We can talk about that, right? But man, having a good set of books and records sets you up for success every single time, because the lending institution or the lenders are going to be asking you for all of this documentation. Hey, give me your 2 years worth of personal tax return. That's your 1040. Give me your 2 years worth of business tax return. Let's say if you're in a partnership, you got a 1065. Corporation is 1120. S corporation 1120S. They want all of this stuff. Give me your profit and loss statement. Some business owners can't produce that type of stuff, so that slows them down in the process. And the successful ones can produce tax returns, profit and loss statements, balance sheets, and any other thing that they're asking you for. So I even seen some people ask for business licenses.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, they really diving deep into this. I had a client also ask me, hey, can you? They want a statement from you, being the CPA, to sign off on that. These books are accurate, and I'm like, I wasn't managing your books, so I can't sign off on. So that kind of held them up.
So
You know what I'm saying?
that's a plug right there. Like, let's just go on and go with Ronnie for your
Right,
taxes because he ain't gonna be able
right.
to sign off on nothing.
Yeah, I couldn't sign off it, but sometimes they go that far. If they need to get comfortable that you're able to pay them back, because they're gonna go through their regular process, and I think Charisma gonna talk about all of the debt to income ratio, credit worthiness, and all of that good stuff. But the gold standard is for the folks that have their documentation together. Those are the ones who can get the mortgages the fastest.
Yeah, yeah, I would imagine. Let's check in. We just brought Charisma back into the studio. Charisma,
It says that you're on mute.
you're on
At least
mute.
I can see it on my side. It says that you're on
Unmute.
mute.
No, I can hear y'all now. I was like, oh, I had to go back old school on them. I had to get the whole school, the, the Bluetronics. I had to get that going for me.
Awesome, awesome.
Oh,
Charisma, can you please introduce yourself to our audience? Yes.
okay. Hi, everyone. I'm a senior government underwriter. I've been doing it for about 12 years now. I help train a lot of people in this industry. I've also helped on the back end side of things. I'm the girl to go to before you make it to the underwriter, even though I'm an underwriter. I'm the plug, as you say.
Yes, she is a plug. And oftentimes you don't get a chance to talk to underwriters that often. They're usually untouchable. Am I right?
Right. We don't talk to the customers. We don't talk to the. They can be like, well, you could just talk to my CPA. We can't even talk to you, Ronnie.
He's like,
Better
nope.
doing that. But as
Uh,
Ronnie was saying, he was saying a good thing. It's about having your books in order before. Don't give us a lot of questions to ask. Like, do just make sure everything is lined. It just look pretty with a bow. Don't give us stuff trying to see what we're gonna ask for. It's better to just give it. That way we don't have to ask for it. Or go to Ronnie and Ronnie's gonna tell you what we're looking for.
awesome, Charisma. Share with our audience. What would you say is one of like the biggest mistakes that you feel like that business owners make when they are trying to purchase a home?
Having a documentation for their write-offs. I mean, a lot of times when business owners are even starting out, or even if they have that one-time expense, the only thing we need is that documentation to support it. It's not something, I think when we ask for additional things, they feel like they got to go pull it out of, a needle in a haystack, but we just need documentation to support this. Just a one-time off expense. And a lot of times there are, and we can add that income back in. So instead of just us reviewing the depletion and just the normal things that we add back in, if we see things on there that are one-time expenses, we can add those back into their income as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. The big question a lot of people have, and we are going to this is my first time using YouTube Live in regards to our people that we're watching. So I believe we're gonna have the Q&A, and I already know, like, with Q&As, Ronnie and Charisma, y'all are gonna get a lot of questions. I already know because I've been getting questions. Like, I get questions all the time. So what would you say as far as um Charisma, a good profile that you've seen when it comes to business owners that want to purchase a home?
For me, a good profile would be they know if they had a loss the previous year and their income is, starting to increase. So they're explaining it before we even ask. So I don't have to stop up or hold up the loan process because I need explanation along with documentation. So, them providing it upfront, shortening the process. Um, and it also allows me to see a picture to where if I can't help them with this program, there's a lot of other programs where you don't even have to use your tax return, and there it's a bank statement program, and we can get you qualified on just off your bank statements alone.
Wow. And thank you for that, because when this is actually part one of the home buying process for business owners, our part two is going to be with a loan officer and a real estate agent. And I'm sure she's going to share, because each bank have a different protocol. Like what we call them in the underwriting industry is overlays, right? Each bank
Hmm.
have their own overlay. So one bank may have a different process, even though it's the same government program, they may have additional things that they prefer. Running. So, can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that you feel like are products or services that you have that can specifically help business owners who want to start the lending process?
Yeah, so what I would say, at least from an accounting, tax perspective, and all of that good stuff, I'm going back to the documentation. I'm gonna hammer that really hard on that, okay? Because, like I said, you have to show proof of income. Because if folks are going to lend you money, you have to show the ability to be able to pay them back, or they're not going to lend you money. I'm not going to do it. You know, if somebody want to borrow some money from me, I got to know you're able to pay me back. So I'm going to hammer down on the documentation aspect of it, because that's a big piece when you're trying to get some funding for a home. So in terms of products, to your point, you know, there are certain systems and software that they can use. And a lot of people, when they're just starting out, they like to manage their own kind of accounting records or bookkeeping and things of that nature, which is fine if they don't have the capital to outsource it. But I will say, if you have the capital to outsource it, please do so to a professional. Let them handle it for you. But in terms of products, they can use, you know, there's financial software out there called QuickBooks. QuickBooks, everybody probably heard about them. They got, you know, they probably the leader in the U.S. market. You got Zero, which is another accounting system or software that they can use to kind of manage their, you know, the income and their expenses, their assets, their liabilities, their equity, to show all of that stuff. They can use FreshBooks. Another one that's free if you don't have payroll employees is Wave Accounting. That's free. You can use that for free. You know, you just have to take the effort to actually do it. And in terms of, in addition to taking the effort, you have to, you know, develop a consistency of doing it, right? So there should be a cycle in which you, okay, so I know I did this amount of transactions for the week, whether you provide a product or you provide a service. I had this amount of transactions for the week. All right, let me make sure this is properly recorded and I got the documentation to support it. Therefore, if somebody comes back and asks me, I can provide that information without a sweat. I don't have to, you know, they say, hey, we need this. Okay, I'll send this right to you. I can just run a report, hit a button, spit it out right there. I got the documentation that's attached to it. I can provide whatever I need to provide. So that's why I will hammer down on. And those are some products that, you know, business owners can actually use to actually record this type of stuff that's happening in their business.
Wow, that is a lot. That is a lot. I think we're gonna have a workshop or class, okay? Speaking of workshop or class, Karisma, can you share some of the things that maybe like opportunities, or is there anything that you have going on in regards to helping business owners prepare and get ready?
What I have going on is something that we both are in the works on. Basically, being that go-to plug that can look through the tax returns and basically let you know what we're seeing and what another underwriter is going to see, so that we can get that in check and in line before you submit your file over to underwriting. So what I'm giving you is the exact thing that every underwriter has to follow, the exact process no matter what company you work for, whether you're working just for a lender, a banking system, we use the exact same process. And also, you know, pointing out those red flags that another underwriter may see. So, and just giving ways around, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way to do anything. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, you guys don't forget to go on Instagram and follow Charisma at the Budget Life Club, um, and connect with her on ways that for you to get prepared. Ronnie, what would you say that you would like to what would you say, do you well, I guess my question is, do you feel like that black people or people in our community are ultimately prepared, and if so or if not, why do you think that is?
Uh, Ultimately, I would say no across the board. If I'm looking at it from a macro perspective, I would say we're not prepared. You have some individuals who are, but the vast majority of us are not. And I think it starts with awareness first, because a lot of times, at least this is what I think, when you know better, you do better, right? But a lot of times we don't know. So what you don't know, and you're just kind of operating within your own silo without getting the assistance and the help you need for people to help you out. So
Mm,
I would say that it's an awareness thing first, or kind of education thing first. If you don't know you need to provide these certain things, to Charisma, right? You're not going to have it. If you're not talking to me about how to properly record the transactions of your business, how to properly, take care of your taxes, how to plan for tax, you don't know that, so you're not going to do it properly. So then
right.
you come to a point where, like I said, I had someone that, they just got married, so they're all in love and all of this good stuff, so they want to buy a home now. I'm like, great. But now they're thinking about, oh, what do I need? I'm like, it's kind of late, but we can try to get you together. But if you are already in the zone of doing these things, from start to finish, you'll be in a good place. But it's awareness, first of all. They just don't know. And I think that's part of what I try to do, try to put out information consistently, just to try to educate people, just get them a little nugget so they can have something to kind of think about.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Charisma, what are some basic steps? Say you have a new business owner, right? Like they just started their business. What's the I guess age of the business that you've seen apply for a home loan and actually are successful? Like, what's the youngest age?
I wouldn't be able to tell you the age. That's thinking. That's you got me trying to think deep. I wouldn't know what age.
I mean,
But
like,
when you want to
how
say
old
as
was
far
the
as a business wise,
yeah?
like
How old
the
was the
age of a
business? You said
business,
was a business like 1 years old or two?
it can be 1 year old. The thing that we'll look at, like say for instance, you come from underwriting background, right? And you open up your own LO shop. It goes back to the history of you doing it. So you can be done just started your trucking business and this your first time being self-employed, but you previously worked for DHL. But you now have your own trucking company. We still are going to consider you self-employed. We'll just verify your previous income for the previous 2 years. So it's not even hard to a new baby born business.
Wow. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Wait, so you mean to tell me that if I'm a hairstylist and I've been working in a salon for like 30 years and I decide to open up my own beauty salon
Right.
and I've only been in business for 1 year, you will count the time that I was in the salon because it's the same industry?
In the same industry, sure would.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we getting the tea, y'all. Look, you up
We're
today.
using all the money. We're using all the money. That's all your income. That's all your income. As long as you stand in that same line of business, it's okay for that's how we write around. That's how we make it make sense. When we writing this up to the investor, that's what we explain it to them. Hey, they were previously hairstylists for over 20 years. They're now, running their own shop. Here's what I see. They had a lot of these new expenses. They're a new business. And so we're analyzing and we're using that with considering the income.
Wow. So what about you? How do you feel about like our community? Do you feel like that our people in our community are prepared, like black people are prepared? If so, or why not? Why do you think that's the case?
I feel like it's the same thing what Ronnie was saying. It's the awareness. It's the knowing that we can do these things. It's the, opening up and communicating to people about what you want to do, your goals and your plans, reaching out to those that's around you that can reach out to the next person. So it's asking those questions and not just getting turned away from one door. And I think that's why I'm glad to be a part of this is because a lot of people don't know, whether you self-employed or even if you a wage earner and you want to buy a house and you ain't got that much money, but you want to buy a house, you spending it in rent. We're gonna make a way out of no way. We're gonna be able to pay our mortgage, right? And so a lot of times people don't even think that they can. And I'll be like, man, you can get zero down. I helped my cousin, just get into a brand new built house. And so you can do it. It's just talking to, Ronnie when you're on the self-employed side, me when you're trying to get into and just really just having a set team that you can go to and we ain't gonna have nothing. We want to we want y'all to have real estate in those investments. I've had it. I've looked back at my house I sold and it's worth over $500,000. So and I bought it for 240. So in Arizona, bringing my butt back out to Texas.
Wow, wow. Well, this is absolutely amazing. What I would like to do now, guys, don't forget if you are watching this to follow Ronnie at Rhythm Accounting on IG. Did I spell it right?
Yes, I think you got me right. Yep,
Okay, okay,
that's
okay, okay.
it.
Just making sure I got it right. Um, is there anything else that you guys would like to share? Is there anything? I don't know if I can do Q&A. Let's see. Looks like we got two comments. Oh, yep. Looks like McCain Entertainment said thank you, and Money Talks with Tiff said she missed some and she gotta watch the replay. So I would like to open this up to our guests for Q&A. So if you have a question, please put it in the chat. If you have a question for Charisma or Ronnie, please put it in the chat because guys, like, listen, this information about purchasing your first home or your second home or even becoming an investor as a as a business owner. I mean, look, you can't get no better, okay, than an accountant and an underwriter because those are the people that really, really, really are the bulk of who you need on your team. We are going to see. I want to Ronnie, I'm going to let you kind of share anything that you want to share as far as accounting and small business owners trying to purchase a house. While we wait on questions, our audience, we are now to the Q&A section of our live. And take it away, Ronnie.
All right, so you know I could talk about this stuff all day. We had a conversation not too long ago. So what I would say for business owners, especially new business owners, we just have to make sure that we are operating our businesses appropriately. We're following all the steps that we need to follow. We have all the licenses and registrations that we need. We are recording all the transactions in our financial statements the way they need to be recorded. We are filing all our taxes on time. We're taking care of all our other compliance and tax obligations. If we are operating the way we're supposed to be operating, we won't have any issues with providing what we need to the lenders in order to get in a home. But we have to make sure that we're operating the way we're supposed to be operating as a business. A lot of times, I mean, y'all probably seen people, in terms of business owners and things like that. When they first get in, you listen to somebody on the street. Well, someone said I need to do this with my business, or someone said I need to do this with my business. We got to stop being scared to go to professionals so that professionals can assist us and help us to do things the right way. I have an experience back when they were giving out all of that government funding, PPP, and all of that stuff. Y'all remember all of that stuff, PPP, EIDL, and all of that good stuff. There were some clients that I had that weren't able to get the funding because they couldn't provide the proper documentation. So not only are you hurting yourself, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you couldn't get funding because you didn't have the proper documentation. Now we're talking about getting a home. Now you're not going to be able to get a home because you don't have the proper documentation. So it's best for us as business owners, everyone, to make sure that we're operating our business appropriately. We just have to make sure we're doing that because we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Absolutely. Now, is it the same thing for a car? Do they
And
ask for documentation? Because that is another question I had. We're gonna have to have a question talk offline. Like a
okay,
lot of business owners putting the cars in the business name and stuff like that. Is that something that car lenders also look at?
they also look at that type of documentation as well because if they're going to give you a loan, they want to see what the financial health of your business is. If this is your sole source of income, they want to see what the financial health of your business is. So they're going to ask for certain documentations as well. So you can't get around it if you want to borrow money. You know what I mean? So it's best that we get on board right now. We start doing things the way we're supposed to be doing things so that we're
Mhm.
prepared. I don't like the stress of, oh man, I need to get this together. What happened with that? Oh, I spent money there. I don't remember it. I don't like that. That's stressful to me. I just want to be like, okay, let me just hit a button, run a report, provide the documentation. I'm good to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Everybody needs a running. I'm telling you, I've learned a lot over the years. I've learned how to do my own taxes over the years from taking the classes because I get tired of paying people. But it's like the same prices that I had to look and see how much the tax preparer was charging me, and they ain't gonna have that same relationship that they gonna have with you, Ronnie, where they able to call you and say, "Hey, Ronnie, like what was like they ain't gonna have that same relationship." And
Yeah.
looking back at my old taxes where they charged me $700, $800, and I just got a simple tax return. So it's just like, why waste your money and
And you
not
take advantage.
invest your money into your future and protect your future with doing it with the right person that's going to show you how to. It's just about continue on creating those connections
Look,
and learning.
look, they be taking advantage of people of color. You hear me? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Like I remember being young and I was gonna probably get what, like $2,000 back. They didn't took 500 from it. It was horrible. It's horrible. You absolutely right, Chris. Everybody need a running. So it looks like some more questions that have come in. And I'm thinking, Charisma, this may be to you or Ronnie, whichever one you can answer it. McCain Entertainment says, I was a college student from 2014 to 2018. After graduating, I worked in retail and customer service. In 2021, I started a wine tasting company. I'm wanting to buy a house early next summer. What are your thoughts on that? Ronnie, Charisma, who would like to answer that?
You want to go first, Charisma? And I can go.
Um, he can definitely buy a house early next summer, but I would say, Ronnie's gonna be the best person to go to make sure that next year tax returns that's filed in 2023 are just it's just tight. Ronnie's gonna make sure you got the income there to qualify. And see, that's another part of it. The biggest piece of it, you may want to buy a house and you may have self-employed income that we can verify positive income. But that positive income gotta be enough to afford your house and also your credit payments. It just can't be that it's positive. It has to be enough.
Yeah, if I can add on to that, she's completely correct. But where I would start, I would ask you, how your record's looking. That's the first thing that I would ask you. I would ask you how your record's looking because that's what they're going to look at. And to Charisma's point about your income being positive, yeah, it can be positive, but is it enough? Right? And it might not be enough, and you might can make it enough the following year if you're not taking certain deductions that you normally would take because what I know just as a tax professional, as a CPA or what have you, I know that there are certain things that we can accelerate to take bigger deductions than normal that we can scale back on if you're going to apply for a mortgage the following year. So I won't take as big of a deduction in one area when we can write the entire equipment off. Instead of doing that, no, let's just depreciate a smaller percentage of it, right? So that your income will be higher so that when we apply, it will show that you are able to afford this. So it's little nuances within the tax code, that we can kind of do to set you up for success. All right,
Right,
but
and
let
I
me,
agree with Ronnie that
yeah,
depreciation is that best thing to do because when it
right,
gets down to that net of what you may owe IRS, that makes it less. You don't want to always write off 100%. You want to go down. You want to chisel there, chisel there, chisel. You don't want to do something all at once because I see that a lot where they shoot themselves in the foot. Well, while I can verify the income, well now they owe IRS 25,000. So now I need to verify that you done pay IRS 25K that you owe them plus have your closing costs. I verified enough income, but now I need the money.
Wow, 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 wow. You make a very, very good point. Shout out to Beck G Management. She said great info, y'all. Kudos. That's the best publicist in the world. Y'all check her out. So let's see. We have another question by Money Talk with Tiff. She's asking if we do everything in order, accounting wise, what other things are needed to be approved as a full-time business owner? And really back, so he said, would it be too early to start buying a house? No, no, no. Okay, sorry. That was McCain. I'm getting them. So one came in after the other, and it was a part of the other question. So sorry, guys. Um, so yes, she said that if we have everything in order, accounting wise, what other things are needed to be approved as a full-time business owner. I would probably say, Tiff, more than likely, you just probably need to like connect with the Budget Life Club. Um, and Charisma, if you wanna kind of expound on that, and what you would do with that.
Right. So with that, once we got the income established, it's really just going to be those closing costs. And, when you're going out to buy a house right now, it's turning back into a buyer's market. I'm going to tell everybody right now, y'all get the first insider. Y'all better start asking for those sellers credits. We need it all.
I appreciate that information right there.
It's turning back into a buyer's market because the rates are so high, the housing price is so high, they had to combat us going into another recession, because the sale of houses have been going down for the last 3 months consecutively. People are now cutting their prices. You'll see that a lot. And now you're seeing, I've seen my first $10,000 sale concession, So right now it's going to be a big time for, people that saved and just waited till it was their time to start, to get into this and start buying. But you got to also consider that. So, the way I see things, I think of it on a multi-level. I really still don't want to spend all my money. I want the seller's money, and I want the government money too. There's programs for those areas. When you have a realtor, that realtor is supposed to show you an investment, not just any house, not something that's just gonna make you happy. You want to buy your investment.
And that's
And
why next part two of this, the realtor is gonna be, woo, we gonna have a good time.
yeah, you gotta have a dope realtor on your team. I had a dope realtor on my team that really helped me, and we did purchase a good investment. We were in a good area when we bought our first home.
Right.
And I just kind of knew to do that, to purchase that investment from seeing, where the house was 80,000 when they bought it, and 10 years later it's like, $350,000, and and that's all money. I have a lot of aunts out here in Texas that got so much equity in their houses and family members that they don't even know what to do with it. They scared to touch it. I'm like, maybe I touch that money, rent out the house, go get you another house, ain't it?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Ronnie, did you have anything you want to add to that?
Nah, I was just saying, wow. When she talked that equity, 80,000 to $300,000, we always talk about building wealth, but home ownership is a
That's
big
where
part
you
of building
build the
wealth.
wealth. That's where you build. That's that.
Exactly.
That's that money. What you
Yeah. So when you
Miss with
start
that
looking at
money.
right, when you start looking at people like when people calculate their net worth, your assets minus your liabilities give you your net worth. For a lot of people, the biggest asset on their asset side is their home. That's the
Mhm.
biggest part of their asset is their home. So that's the wealth when you're looking at your net worth. So hey, get in the home if you can,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. So,
Keyzia bought a good one. She bought a duplex, and so she got a rental and what's name, so she making money both
Congratulations,
ways, primary
congratulations.
residence, and she got money coming in on the
So you
side.
doing you doing a house hack, huh?
hey,
Uh-huh.
um,
I ain't mad at it.
so one of the questions that Tiffany had, oh no, Tiffany said that she followed, Money Talk with Tiff said that she followed Ronnie on Insta, so y'all can connect. And then she put diamond, 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 because y'all dropping gems up in here. Um, And she also said she followed both. Thank you all. I have a home, but I want to start getting into investment properties. So yeah, like this is really, really, really good. Well, again, I want to give you all an opportunity to share your business, Charisma, you with the Budget Life Club. Kind of share, what you want people to do. I know you want people to follow you, but I'm talking too much, so go ahead.
I just want people to, basically say, reach out to us, let us know their goals. And Kezia just mentioned Tiffany with the investment. Your investment can even be a second home to where you don't even have to come up with that 10 or 15% down, and you can still get away with putting either 3 to 5% down. And it's your second home, but you're using, I mean, there's just a bunch of ways. I got a bunch of information to give to you guys to do it, to get those investments without even paying the investment price.
And I did have a question, Charisma. In regards to what do you see like the biggest mistake that business owners make after they purchase a home and they decide to go and purchase another house? In regards to like, do you feel like that they don't budget well? Do you think they ball out of control? What do you think that they need?
I mean, I would say the biggest problem is they just don't give their home enough time to build equity if they do it like yes less than a year. Or, it all depends on the situation of where you at and where you at in your finances. I've seen a lot of people be able to afford it to do it within less than a year. Or I'm doing like a 3 pack or a 6 pack. We get those where I'm doing 7 homes, at one time where they're buying like three of those and they're refinancing their other ones and they taking out the equity on their other ones to pay for the other three new ones. So you can do it. Like you can do it. And I hate those files, but you can do it.
What's the biggest I don't know if you can share this, but what's the most expensive house that you've seen?
I did one out here in Texas. I was still in Arizona. I did a $10 million house in Texas. It was by SMU area, that area over there. And it
Oh
was
wow.
it was a brand new house built from the ground up, just infinity pool, just decked out. And also,
Wow.
we need to know that we don't have to buy the house that's built. We can buy the land and we can build on it and build up what we want to build. So, and it's still the same process. There's no different process, even for somebody like, oh, I really don't want to buy this house right here. I seen some land and I want to buy that. Buy that land and build on it because it's the exact same process.
Wow. Tiffany said she ready, honey. So she said, let's go.
Hey,
She's gonna be
Tiffany.
she's gonna be reaching out to you. And Tamika Carter said, thank you, great info. Yeah, man, like this is some really, I really we at 41 minutes now. I really want to go on and on and on, but I'm gonna let them go on and on and on when they contact you. So guys, don't forget to reach out to both, Karisma and Ronnie. Let me see. Looks like I got some more comments. Oh, Christina says, "Hey, Christina, this is great. Thank you, Keyzia. Yes, yes, yes to Ronnie. What Ronnie and Charisma are sharing. Christina is coming next week. Next Wednesday, we're going to be doing another live talking about the business owners home buying process. So you guys definitely want to join in on that. But I need you guys to follow right now. Stop what you're doing. Follow Charisma at the Budget Life Club on Instagram. And I need you to follow Ronnie at Rhythm Accounting on IG. Reach out to them, DM them. I'm sure they have opportunities for you guys to connect. And I am super, super, super excited. Thank you guys for being on the show. Does anybody else have any like church last word before midnight? What advice I'll say what one piece of advice that you can give to, and I want to have y'all back on the show too because I want to learn about how you became an underwriter, Charisma, and I want to learn how you, Ronnie, we did it on the beards. Ronnie was one of my guests on the Beards Business and Black Men podcast, so I learned a little bit, but we're gonna dig a little deeper. But have you on, don't be angry, be active, and share with this audience how you got into accounting because I love
Okay.
to share that with our audience here. But we're gonna
Hmm.
do last words and it's ladies first. So
Hmm.
Charisma, share your last words on to our audience. These are business owners who want to buy their first home. You got about 30 seconds. Let's
Okay, it'll be real quick. Yeah, just reach out to the Budget Life Club. We are here to help. Don't prolong it. Right now is the season and the time for buyers to buy their home, whether it's an investment, second home, whatever the case is. Right now is the time. The prices of houses is going down. The seller credits to where you don't have to pull so much money out of your pocket, and you can still run your business successful. And I know people will open up multiple business at a time, so don't wait. Reach out to us. We're available. I'm in Texas, Keyzia, and Virginia. We're both going to be available. We're both going to be tag teaming this.
basically she said, don't wait. Start this is the pandemic for your planning. Okay. So you remember how in the pandemic we all hunkered down and then people became productive? This is your second pandemic, right? For the housing. So business owners, make sure, even though it's like it's bad timing and anything you trust me, the Budget Life Club, Charisma, me, because I'm part of the Budget Life Club. I can do your budget. She can help you with your credit, possibly. She's not a credit counselor or an attorney, but we can have a conversation and she can, we all can share our perspective on what on your next steps. So, yep, don't forget to reach out. I'm gonna bring Ronnie back in. Ronnie, last word.
Yes. I guess the last words for me is to for the business owners out there, don't be afraid to get the help that you need. There are people out here who can help you. There are people out here who understand you. You understand where you are. Business ownership, entrepreneurship can be a little lonely sometimes. We're out there on our own. We don't feel like people understand us or they can help us out. But there are people who can help you. So get the help that you need. Get the education that you need, so you can set yourself up and you can set your family up for success in the future. So that's my word. And feel free to connect with me on all platforms. Rhythm Accounting. You on mute, Keyzia.
Oh, yay! Thank you. Rhythm. Money Talk with Tiff said we need more black underwriters. Charisma.
We do. We need
He
my
said we
biggest
need to start.
goal. My biggest goal. I want to open up my own underwriting, and take it away from like the mortgage companies and the bankers, and let us just do what we do on a daily basis. We taking a risk anyway. The risk is on us. Um, you
So your
know,
Mm,
underwriting school is what it sounds like.
yeah, I wanna open my own school company or whatever, and we get in the files like we're going to the lenders like, hey, send your files over here. We don't get it underwrite with precision time. We don't overthink it. Look, you give it to us, we gonna see it, and that's it. It's the whole process is not to overthink it, not to
Well,
try to dig into somebody's life and be in their business. Like I ain't trying to do that. I just
mm,
want you to provide things so I can check. It's the checklist for me. Like I ain't trying to figure out what you did with your money.
wow. And that's the reason why
representation.
Young Investors Group got
Mm,
started, because teaching young black youth about the careers of the financial industry. You guys,
mm,
y'all need to check out Young Investors Group. Go to younginvestorsgroup.org. Let me see if I got yep, here it is right here. Younginvestorsgroup.org. A quick little plug, because what Tiff said is exactly what we do. We teach young people, young black kings and queens, about the financial industry, because it ain't many of us in the industry. It's
Yep.
people that's doing
Our
the
kids
whole
are the underwriters.
right, especially underwriters. Go ahead, Ronnie.
No, I was just gonna say representation matters. In the CPA world, only 1% of CPAs are black, and it's been like that for a long time.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
representation matters. When you got some people that can understand you on a deeper level, it's easier to connect with, and you can kind of explain what you got going on, and they can identify with you a little bit. So representation does matter.
I think
Yep.
we gonna be able to run the world with that, honey. You got black, you got black accountants and black underwriters. I think all the businesses will be able to get some. We got, man. Money Talks with Tish, she said representation matters. Absolutely. Tamika, thank you so much for joining us. Tiff, thank you for joining us. Christina, shout out to you. Um, and let's see who we missing. And McCain Entertainment. Thank you all for watching. We are super excited that all of you could join us. And we will see you next Wednesday for part 2 of self-employed home buying. Bye, guys. Take
Bye.